You don't know on the Real Things podcast. Hey, yo!
Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Real Things podcast. It's a beautiful Monday. Hello, and welcome to another leg of the podcast. Today, we're taking it to the villages of Africa, Kenya to be exact, in a little quaint village called Nyabuhani. Guys, have you seen those items that were distributed yesterday? Were you following those items since they went to Nyabuhani? Have you seen any bed bugs? Hey, guys, have you seen any bed bugs? Now, today we are going to talk about AM Carol's idea. Her entire video was surrounded yesterday. The video that she did yesterday, I watched the video. That video was basically surrounded by her crazy ideologies about what Mr. Cecil did with the items that he brought to Marwa and what African leaders are saying about people from the outside, from the West, who would have been helping the African brothers and sisters, contributing to a lot of things in many African countries. So I have a clip that I want to share with you here on the podcast. And believe me, it is just a drop in the bucket compared to the nonsense that was spewed out on that live yesterday. At one point in time, I believe some of her subscribers were getting a bit annoyed with her when she even go as went as far as telling her subscribers that the people of the Congo are without clothes, they're naked. Cecile should have gone, or Trenchtown Grandpa should have gone to the Congo and donated those items. I saw at one point in time, she was saying in her camera that we don't need it. We who? Was my question. I was thinking to myself when I saw her saying, we don't need it. How, how does she get to decide for the village of Nyabohansi when she's living in Bungoma? How does she get to decide for the people who wholeheartedly came to Marwa's house yesterday, as we saw, and the day before? And the day before, so it's like 3 consecutive days of giving out of the items. Now, this lady is here by saying that she's here by saying that items, there's an outbreak of bed bugs in whatever country. And the leader of that country is basically saying that the bed bugs, the infestation of bed bugs, came from items that were distributed amongst whatever country she was talking about. Items that came from overseas, which I cannot stand here and say that it ain't so. Yeah. Because many countries, many cities in the UK, even in the USA and places in the UK would have had one time or the other would have seen where hotels were infested with bed bugs, even trains. One point in time I saw where the subway they were showing bugs on the seat of the subway. These things are common. Honestly, I've never seen anything like this in my life where someone would literally sit down and try to decide for others what they should and what they shouldn't do, like other villagers, what they should and what they shouldn't do when they themselves cannot help those individuals. And the help that those individuals are getting Some of these things that these people receive, guys, let me just calm down a little bit on a level where we can reason. A lot of these clothing items had on tags, as we've seen in Marwa's video. Some of them were used, which I remember, if you've been following the story, you also can remember that Mr. Cecile clearly stated that all those items were washed, dried, and in Qarol's video yesterday, she also read a statement from wherever she got it from pertaining to how to treat an infestation of bed bugs. You should wash at a certain degrees. You should sun items. So even if there was, God forbid, any bed bugs in Mr. Cecile's clothing that he brought to Marwa's place, those clothes were washed. So those bed bugs would have been dead and no longer and in bed bug heaven, no longer in the land of the living. Apparently, knowing her, she would have had, her criticism, her content surrounded, you know, she would have done her content critically when it relates to Marwa and anybody that comes in contact with Marwa. It would have been critical. But to say you're gonna sit there and speak on items that you yourself could not provide, speak out against people donating, someone donating these items that you yourself nor your clan didn't provide, and criticizing it in this way is crazy. It's crazy. For someone to really literally sit down and do that, it's crazy. It gives, like, watching that live yesterday put me to reason with myself, like, on a different level. Like, how could how could somebody even sit down and say that it is it is better for Cecile to would have built a vocational school or something. The man not have the money for that, and give what him have. That is just my opinion. He gave what he could have afforded. It is better for them to build like something like a vocational school or something to teach them some skills. Where's the job market? You give them the skills. I understand all of that. But in a situation whereby someone cannot afford to build a school, and they give clothing or whatever other items they could afford in that time, your job as a fellow countryman or woman is to say, well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Cecile, because I couldn't provide for these kids. You did. Thank you. Instead, she sat there and told her fans that none of those kids that came there is not naked. No, I mean, it's not they're not clothless. None of them are not shoeless. They are better off without those clothes. Is that the more I listen to that web that she spun yesterday until someone in her audience told her in a kind of way to come down off of that level. Not literally, but by just telling her, stop generalizing. Because why are you saying that the people them in if you go to the Congo, those people don't have clothes? She had to. She was corrected. Well, she had to apologize in a kind of way and thank the person. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for saying that. Let me correct that. And I'm like, yes, at least somebody's sensible enough to tell you to stop it. Because what you're doing is bull. BS. I haven't done village content in a while. You know me, I go off because I have different playlists that I cater for. I want a mixed audience. But when I saw, had something lined up different for today. But when I saw that video, that live actually yesterday, I was like, OMG, this is crazy. Apparently, I was, you know, listening to her, and I gathered what I gathered was apparently some of Marwa's moderators, which I also share, made some comments under the video, and they mentioned her name in the comments while Marwa was premiering that said video but with the clothes. And she commented there, she mentioned the moderators' names. And it irritated her to the point where she came out and had to call them out and tell them exactly how she feel about them, and also gave her audience a show by whereby she put on this masculine thing that we don't need, this behavior, like we don't need none of your used clothes. She brought one box of sanitary pads to the village the other day when she did a 360 to Gintu. For Gintu. And that was that. Hmm? For a photo op. And that was that. That was done. Not so long ago. Maybe less than a month ago, we saw where Gintu himself had a tarp that he spread on the grass and some clothing items or whatever that was on there was issued out. Everybody was mum. AM Qarol never came out and said a word. You never heard anything about anything used or whatever. And those items were heavily used because I saw them. I couldn't even, at one point, I couldn't even make out what was what. If it was a bed sheet, it was a shawl, if it was just even a piece of cloth. But I watched on and I said, at least somebody is trying to give these people some assistance where they think what they think is needed. I sat there and I was saying, a back to school drive with books, pencils, and bags and stuff, few pairs of shoes, jackets. I was thinking to myself, I sat there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like a Goodwill, a nice um walk through Goodwill to find, or even other thrift shops to find items would have been good because in these times, you go into Goodwill, you're finding a lot of things with tags, especially when it comes to like different when it comes to like anyway, I don't have to go through all of that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Who knows? If you get it, you get it. You understand? Items with tags, just like Mr. Cecile brought. A lot of items had tags on them. And as he said, those items were collected from family, himself, and friends. What is wrong with that, Carol? What's wrong with that? When Gintu had his program, For one day party, one day clothing items. Nobody said a word. Everybody was mum. Hmm? Nobody criticized anything. But because it's Marwa, it has to be a problem. And then she lied to her audience that she does not have time to watch anybody that thrives on off of donations. I want you to take a listen. This to me is when all people say want it, can't get it. Want it, can't get it. That is your mentality. Seriously. It's the mentality that I'm getting. I want you to take a listen into this clip, guys.
I'll watch Vimwelu. I'll watch Lucy. I'll watch the things that really make sense to me. But the other one that doesn't make sense to me, I can watch documentaries. I can watch all these other vlogs. I can watch Wodemaya so many times. You get the tingle. I can watch all these vloggers that also go out and, they make us proud out there. But watching someone who is bragging on donations, secondhand clothes, is what you're calling my name on? Shame on you.
No. Have you ever heard her come out here at any time and did a reaction on any of the names that she just called? She says she does not have time to watch foolishness. When was the last time she even did a content on Wodemaya? When was the last time? Like on a serious note, when? Lies, denial.
Shame on you.
Mm.
Look at this one, the wrinkled one. That Qarol can even take her husband to the barber shop. Who can she help? See, Judy Moore now knows the business in my house. She knows that I don't take my husband to the barber shop. And I'm asking myself, why should I take my husband to the barber shop, for God's sake? He's working. He has his own money. Why should I take my money to take him to the barber shop?
I think you have a right to laugh. I think she has a right to laugh. You know why? Because she's lying. That is all a show. It sounds so dumb. Girl, you sound ridiculous. Like honestly, you got your man, your husband. And you mean to tell me you're gonna sit on internet, YouTube, global platform and say, why should I take him to the barber shop? He has his own money. Cheap and lying. It's a lie. It's a lie. And if it's the truth, it shows how unkind you are. That's your husband. He will do anything for you. Many things, rather, for you. Not any, because I don't know. A husband will always do a lot of things. So you're going to sit there, hold on your head and laugh because he came through the door or came in front of you, whatever, to shun it off. Why should you take your money? Because you could hear in the background that somebody came in. There was another presence in the room. What a show, girl.
Wrinkled women everywhere.
So Judy Moyo and Doreen Small are wrinkled. What the hell is wrinkled, rather? I hold on, guys. What's wrinkled? Wrinkled. What does the word wrinkled mean? He listen. Oxford Dictionary said wrinkle. This word is now obsolete and is only recorded in the 1800s. The word is used in British. Imagine, so it is a word that is no longer in use. Not so it had a meaning basically. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. It, it's not even saying anything. Wrinkled. Guys, that word doesn't even exist anymore. It's not showing you. This is the Oxford Dictionary. It was used in the 1800s. So I don't know what wrinkled mean. It's not giving. But for me, she's basically saying old women. They're old. They're old.
Thought I was the only one. This was they're going gaga. They're sick. These ladies, they're mentally sick. Chuti. Chuti is a very wrinkled, mentally challenged woman.
No, that is Jodi Moyo. If you heard her clearly in the beginning, this person who she's calling Chuti, Jodi Moyo, you're a real wrinkled. Anyway, apparently, this is what I rated. That was what I rated her and brought her out here to the streets. The thing about it, right? Like reactors have a way to class people to anything. And then when it comes to their turn for people to class them back, there's a problem. Hmm? Houston, there is a problem. Hey, they would come for you anyhow. I remember um a few months back, or a few weeks back, months, week, whatever it was, and I mentioned one reactor's name. She come back, she said, "Yeah, we never talk that lie, Bobby." I had to laugh. I had to laugh. And exactly what she said and what she did, I was reacting on it. I was reacting on it. She said I shouldn't lie on her. Come right back to you. Let me just go put some power on this thing. I don't know who removed the charger. I'll be right back.
I'll watch Vivo, I'll watch Lucy, I'll watch.
All right, guys. Hey, don't know what happened there. Um, I thought I stopped the thing and just play the music, but I realized that our friend was playing in the background. But anyway, sorry for that. No, um, um, she continued. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you're still here, please be sure to, hit a like. And if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for? Yeah, what are you waiting for? So after she went on to say how she felt about those moderators who was commenting on her behavior and the typical thing in comment sections where you would find uh, uh, subscribers from other people because they know about the behavior and how these people would conduct themselves. You'll find like people like AM Carol, how she would conduct herself, how she would go with false information and call it like a reaction and fabricate stuff that would irate the other side. And she does this because she has no other way, honestly, of doing anything else. Nothing good. You know what them say call a spade a spade? Nothing good or genuine then comes out of her reaction. It is like it's maliciously. Her reactions are maliciously themed. That's all I can say. That's the only way we can say it. You know, you have reactions and people will just come out there and say certain things because it's not all reactions gonna be like positive like in a positive way. But and the reason why I'm saying this because I watch a lot of reactors, especially out of the USA, and the way how they does their thing, it is not with no takedown style. They will give you their view of it, of whatever they're reacting on, but not in a not with a malicious intent. You know, there are other reactors that does reaction on Marwa family and whatever. But the reason why I would avoid from going after, like not going physically going after, when I say going after, like responding or reacting against the reactor, reacting on the reactor, let me phrase myself clearly. The reason why I would refrain from reacting on other reactors or some of the other reactors, because sometimes, you know, you would have to touch them up here and there, is because it is not so maliciously designed and orchestrated. You know, it's not so. This one here would skin a cat if she have to. That is how I see her. And then because of that, you'll find that other reactors who react, you know, like on a positive side, they would see things and speak positively on it. They would go and react on her based on the way how she reacts. She's the one who actually caused other reactors. She's one of the ones who would cause other reactors to actually be reacting on reactors. I'm telling you the honest truth. Anyway, enough for the reacting and on the reactors. So she continued to orchestrate to her fans that apparently somebody sent her a link because this is a WhatsApp thing. It's here. Somebody sent her a link, and you're not gonna see it here because I just cropped it. You're not gonna see everything. She she basically came with the link to tell the Read Small, a moderator, that whatever you commented on the Marwa's video, well, I went and do my research. You don't know nothing because these clothes that you all be sending into my Africa, we don't need them. And you guys are coming with bed bugs, so we don't need y'all dirty, stinking clothes. Use clothes. It's not her exact words, but that was basically. And she said, we don't need it. Now, the one good thing that I got from her throughout this whole thing was that indeed, you don't want to be spoon feeding a lot of these grown people. So they be looking for handouts constantly. Yeah? That's the one good thing that I took away. Anything else can be swept off into the trash bin because it's just her trying to speak for the entire village, an entire village that she does not belong to. It's crazy. Listening.
This kind of thing. So we're having a problem. This is a post from BBC Africa News. It said that the suspicion is that these infectations are being imported from outside, possibly not the second one. Let's go to the second one. This information is coming from Zimbabwe. The doctors are advising residents to inspect new second-hand goods for bedbugs. If they find any, the doctor suggests putting them in different sunlight or washing in water up to 60 Celsius.
Now, you remember earlier on, if you're still here watching the premiere, you remember I stated clearly if you could go back to Mr. Cecile's video earlier when he said that those items, even on Marwa's video, when Marwa called Mr. Cecile and they were talking, and he said, I washed those clothes, every single one of them were washed. And Rocio was in the background saying, yes, they smell they smell great. They smell real good. And that would have been from the laundry detergent and the softener. Let me tell you something, AM Qarol. One thing you need to know, because you have a lot of Jamaicans on your channel. And it saddens my heart to know that a lot of these people cheer you on, and they damn well know that us as Jamaicans, when we give you something, when we're giving something, we are going to do, we're going above and beyond. And even if we give you a few things, like in the case of Mr. Cecile, because let me tell you something. It was a few days ago I go under my closet because I'm not going anywhere. My days of corporate office attire are over. I've done 22 years in corporate and I'm done. Yeah. And I took down a garbage, like a big one of those bags, black bags, garbage, the ones that you put in the tall trash can. And I filled them with a lot of office attire and I donated to a church. Not one of Some of them had on tags because there was days when people would, whatever you call a hawker in Kenya, people would just show up at our office and they would just leave. What's your size? Oh, I'm a size 12. What's your size? Oh, I'm a size 16. What's your size? Oh, I'm a size 18. Yada, yada, yada. All the ladies in the office. And these hawkers are these sellers. We're not used to the word hawker. So any strange people come in across, I saw them hear me talking about hawkers, then would wonder what I'm saying. These sellers or peddlers or higglers would have dumped at least 4 or 5 sets of clothing on our desk each. And tell her, okay, I'll pass back on the 15th, or I'll pass back next month by this time because I'm traveling, blah, 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 blah. And it's either you're going to say, no, 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 because I myself is leaving, so I don't want. Sometimes we draw those kind of cards because we really don't need because they keep coming back. But, sometimes you will do it because then, you know what, you know how office thing go. You know what, your people them seeing you in the same thing every day, so you have to come off last out sometimes. So sometimes we end up with a lot of stuff that we don't want. We never wore. Just like in the case of Mr. Sissy, you saw a lot of nice things with tags on them. We like for shop, and we never even put with. Right now, I have lots of like shoe sandals. They will have to go in the garbage because what? It's not like I'm going anywhere. Like strappy sandals with heels. I'm not wear them something there again, and these things get rotten after a while. Yeah. And the condition that they're in, I would have to toss them because then the way how I gave the clothing items out, I can't go look for give those shoes because they're basically them gonna drop off of your foot in 2 days time. In the case of Mr. Cecil, you saw how the shoes were in mint condition. They were in mint condition, and no panky panky shoes. So back to what I was saying, a lot of Jamaicans are in her clan, in subscribers or supporters, and they know for themselves. A lot of them know for a fact that when we're giving the best, and we're gonna go above and beyond. Yeah. And generally we are kind-hearted people. So it surprised me honestly that don't mean say you're not gonna have a few strays amongst like amongst the clan. You're gonna have a few ones that are gonna go and have them own opinion. A lot of them will want recognition. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So them gonna go aside and say negative things and say things out of our norm, our behavior, the way how we do things. Anyway, I was saying my message is that I know that Mr. Cecile did what he did. or Trenchtown Grandpa, let me call him by his YouTube handle. Trenchtown Grandpa did what he did out of his heart. You understand? Out of his heart.
Meanwhile, the city council has started a second round of fumigation. We are talking about second-hand clothes. And then the second post said, the suspicion is that these infestations are being imported from outside. Did you hear me? Let me bring my face close. It looks like you people you're not hearing what I'm saying. Hey, bring the info. No. Let me go back.
Uh-huh. Okay, they get it. Yes, so second-hand clothes. So you mean that it is every second-hand clothes that even that they sell in Kenya has bed bugs too. So how they don't reach you as yet? Wonder how they don't take over the entire Kenya as yet. So you're trying to tell me just because the president of Zimbabwe or whatever he's a president or prime minister, I don't know, of Zimbabwe says that they are battling bed bugs. Does it mean that Mr. Cecil's washed items and cleaned items has bed bugs too? So you should come to the channel, sat and tell your fans and tell the entire Nyabuhani not to go back to imagine even past his kids from the first day. Patsy's kids were there. The same Patsy that told Marwa, Marwa is trying to take my land. I am not a team Marwa. Team what? The same Patsy. I saw the kid in the house jumping up and down playing and nobody stopped them. But yet this lady, the bitterness that she spews, she believes that she could sit there and divide and conquer the entire Nyabuhani with her thoughts and belief. I think like at this point, I think you already realize that it is all a show. Guys, it's all a show because the amount of people that came and collected those items from Nyabuhani itself, hmm, in no time, that living room was emptied out like nobody's business. Like nobody's business. So this is all a show. I know you guys already realize it is all a show because nobody's listening to her advice at this time. And the show must go on because she has to build the channel, she has to get her paycheck, and you know how it goes. So she will come out and do her reaction. It's reaction. But why so? Why so? Why try to divide a village that you're not from? Why try to? And then she wants to blame outsiders when she's the one who's sitting on her channel and creating all of this mayhem over what? Items that she herself could not provide. Items that her friend Gintu was sent to distribute in the village some weeks ago from somebody else, and she never uttered a word about it. Why, Marwa? Why? Like I said, guys, it's alleged here on the streets that she sent her requests and she was denied. Allegedly. She sent her requests allegedly to be the woman. And she was denied allegedly. And she make it after that her point to come out here and be bitter. Allegedly. On the streets of YouTube. Those are the words. But you know people. You know how people are. Once you cannot get something, you cannot have access to something, you're going to be bitter.
YouTube. Let's go back. So for those who picked all those clothes, For those who are always talking to the boss and reporting A, B, C, D. Oh my God, Qarol said that. Qarol has said that. Qarol has said that. Advise him. Tell him there's a problem out here. There's an alert as we.
You know, the problem and the alert, I believe, actually sits with Qarol. Because what it doesn't matter, you know, like I was out to me, I was totally like against coming out on camera, like Marwa coming out on camera to show what was in those packages. Like seriously, for me, if it were me, Marwa is Marwa. You can't get that from him. He deals with transparency. Whether they're gonna talk or not, he's gonna do what he's going to do. But for me, to not give them content, to suffocate them from contenting when their content is not contenting, I would have held my party. 'Cause remember, no cameras are allowed unless, you know, like no, it's not so rampant as it was before. Because then he stated clearly that he does not want YouTubers in his compound, blah blah blah. You remember? Let me say blah blah, not in a disrespectful way, but we remember how it turned out the last time. So that would have had to been fixed, and it's fixed. So saying all of that to say, for me, I would have just had my party, distributed my goods, and let them wonder what happened through there. Let them wonder what happened there. Period. Because as far as I'm concerned, whether Marwa goes up, down, sideways, under, backwards, whatever, to show these people, even up to the point when he called again, the second time to confirm, or the third time to confirm with Mr. Cecile, what did you say for me to do? It was a problem. Right there, somebody say, all you're going to do is like, no, Mr. Cecile is appearing that he's repeating himself. And no matter what you do, those people are going to find the negative out of every good thing that you do. They're going to find something negative. They're going to make it if it is not even there. Because see, it was too good. What happened in that village was too good for Qarol to come out and say, well done. She had to find this thing to make them look bad. But, I realized the more content that you give her is the more she's going to be contenting. So for some, I think that there should be like a blackout period where they're wondering what the heck is going on and force them to go look for content elsewhere. Seriously. Serious.
What are we looking at right now? How healthy Mr. Boss is calculating on his phone. Balenciaga, $116.
Let me tell you something, guys, before I close this program, today's episode. The sad thing about it is that those audience who would have contributed to her on numerous occasions when nobody knows, because her business is not on YouTube like that, would have had to painfully sat there and listen to her speaking out against them and the actions that they would have done. Because listen, it's not Nyabuhani alone would have gotten, and a lot of those audience were once Marwa's audience, okay? And would have done things for those same people in the blasted village at one point in time or the other. So for those hypocrites to sit down there and listen to all of this thing that she's saying here, OMG. No, guys. And no wonder when she got to the part where when she was saying about the Congolese people being in the naked. That was why she had to be corrected, because people were getting irate because she went on and on and on. To me, at one point, it was out of bounds. People were getting annoyed. Yes, they comment. But someone had to pause her and correct her to stop generalizing. Be clear on what you're saying, because you're doing too much. Then, there was this one thing, guys, where Mr. Cecile was brought back in the picture and Passy was brought back in the picture again. For all of you who were here from last year and the year before, no, well, I wasn't here the year before. Yes, I was. But half of the year before I was on this doing village content, half of the year before and last year. No, Patsy, she brought up the talk about Patsy and Mr. Cecile again. Huh? The same Patsy who was done commenting back and forth, back and forth. Eh? Patsy even insulted one of the Patsy even insulted one of her subscribers, telling her, well, you go and get the gift for your children. You go and get the gift for your children, because she was mentioning Patsy's kids. Yes, indeed. The kids were there getting. Listen, I always say, and I'm going to say it again. Those people are villagers. Imagine Patsy is Marwa's neighbor and they corrupted Mumu Patsy. And she was too glad to get corrupted because she wanted the money. Money was involved. Back to this thing with Cecile and Patsy. This thing with Cecile and Patsy. I seen on another channel with this boy saying some things which I will discuss over on the other channel. Hmm? He knew why he went to Nyabuhani, right? He knew. It's not the first time he was there and all. Whatever transpired, we all know. For those of you who are following that whole story, no. Even pronounce this girl went as far as this lady even went as far as pronouncing death on Mr. Cecile. If the same Patsy who she was praising, she used that mouth, her mouth, that same mouth, and said that if Patsy had ever opened her legs, Mr. Cecile would have been a dead man by now. Somewhere in heaven, bubbling, bubbling. Guys, what could that mean? What would have happened to Mr. Cecile if Patsy did what she suggested? What would have happened to would have caused his death? What? guys. Hey, no, sir. Mm-mm.
Chill. BBC has told you what to do with your second-hand clothes. All the best, guys. You can do what you want to do with your second-hand clothes.
Look at her facial expression. Hey, listen to what she said. No, guys, listen. Anybody who studies human behavior, please tell me. Please tell me. Isn't this somebody who is irate? Isn't this the profile, like the posture of someone who is irritated, someone who is not having good thoughts? Take a look again and listen to what she's saying.
They are publicly. So if I'm reacting on BBC's post, who are you that you're not supposed to be reacted on? Who do you think that you are? So long as you have posted your things publicly out there, they belong to the whole world. People will react on it in different ways. It doesn't make you a better person, an angel, or anything. Here we react on anything. So chill. Chill. BBC has told you what to do with your second-hand clothes. All the best, guys. You can do what you want to do with your second.
Look. Just take a look at the face. Just take a look at the face.
Second-hand clothes. I don't have a problem with second-hand clothes. Wash with the Dettol. Mr. Nice says wash with the Dettol. No, you should do what the doctor said you should do. Bed bugs everywhere. For me, bed bugs and the second-hand clothes and everything that comes with the second-hand clothes, whether they're more bed bugs or more bed bugs, it's not even. I'll watch Vim.
Wow. Is not even an issue. So, guys, if it's not an issue, why is she murmuring? Why is she lamenting? Like that video, that live probably was over 2 hours. That live was probably over 2 hours. I didn't watch all of that. I couldn't because I was cooking and moving back and forth and whatnot. But I watched enough because she drew my attention. What she was saying drew my attention. I had to, like, really again. Can't you just say well done? You pronounce that. You issue bed bugs? No, stop. This is worse than the days of how much plagues it was? The 10 plagues? 10 plagues. How much plagues it was in the days of the Bible? This is worse than the days of the Bible with the plagues. Death, bugs, lady. No, sir. No, sir. Guys, I'm gonna have to end it here on the podcast for today's episode. I trust that you liked, the video at this point. Trust that you like the video. Please leave your comments on the comment section and let us meet in the next one. I'll see you guys again. See you guys again soon. No, sir.